Today, we're going to talk about 3 things that you might want to consider if you're thinking about moving your relationship from monogamous to non-monogamous. But before we do that, let's add a little color, let's add a little texture, let's add a little flavor, and talk about what monogamy and non-monogamy mean in gay culture, specifically in terms of long-term relationships. Now, the good news is it's almost identical to that of heterosexual relationships or bisexual relationships. Monogamy, in its simplest definition, is when a couple comes together and they've decided that that relationship is closed and sealed between them and them only, and no additional play or activity is considered outside of the relationship. Non-monogamy, as you can imagine, is the opposite of that, but oftentimes with a misconception that there are no parameters or boundaries, meaning that anything goes. But oftentimes in non-monogamy, couples have an agreed upon set of rules, boundaries, or guidelines where they get the flexibility that they're looking for in non-monogamy, but without being completely wide open. So when we use the term open relationships, it doesn't always mean that anything goes. Oftentimes there's boundaries in place. Now, for purposes of my videos, you'll also hear me sometimes refer to something as don't ask, don't tell. That is a relationship where a couple has come together under the pretense of being monogamous, but oftentimes through the course of life and life changes and age and length of time together, one or both of the partners are seeking outside activity, but without the permission or consent of the other person in the relationship. So we call that don't ask, don't tell. So you'll hear me refer to that in some of my videos later in the series. But getting back to the 3 things that we want to think about with regards to monogamy and non-monogamy, let's get started with the very first step being getting clear on what it is that you want. So you've been thinking about this for a while, right? What does it look like for you? Is it fantasies that you've been having? Is it something that particularly turns you on that you want to see or that you want to bring into the relationship? But take the time to get really clear on what it is that you want. In often cases, things that we fantasize about don't always hold true when we bring them out to life and actually act upon them. So get clear on what it is that you want. The second thing is about having an honest conversation with your partner. What does that look like? How is your current communication with your partner? Do you feel that you have an honest and safe, emotionally stable and consistent place where you can come and express yourself with no judgment and no fear? If not, we're going to talk about that in another video as well, but that is an important component to consider when introducing the possibility of non-monogamy into your relationship. So thinking about what that communication looks like. And if you're not there, what does it need to look like to get there to where you feel emotionally safe to express what it is that you're thinking about? And then the third and final thing to think about when exploring non-monogamy is it doesn't have to go from 0 to 100. There's many different areas that you can get to experiment with non-monogamy. But my recommendation is to start small, constantly assess, and constantly talk about what it is that's working, what's not working, is anything popping up with regards to jealousy, needs not being met, or any other extenuating circumstances that could potentially impact your relationship. Staying in lock sync with your partner is super important when it comes to non-monogamy. So those are the 3 basics to think about. We'll uncover these in more videos later. I hope you've enjoyed these so far today. As always, if you like this video, please click follow or subscribe and check out the link in my bio and stay tuned for more videos to come soon. Thanks.